Welcome back to an episode of Big Brother Advice. This is the YouTube series where I read internet stories and I give my best Big Brotherly advice on them, and you can take it or leave it, whatever you need. If you need that Big Brotherly advice, I'm always here for you, right? So today we're going to start a little differently because I was watching my old content and I watched an episode. It was the this one, basically the boyfriend doesn't want his girlfriend wearing anything inappropriate outside of the time that he's with her. Super like mentally and emotionally abusive. And I was like pleading with OP to break up and like leave this guy because I was actually deeply afraid of like this guy, because I if you want to watch the full episode, I'll leave the link to the episode down below. But I was like deeply pleading with her, like, hey, break up with this guy, because this guy's no good. This is how super abusive relationships start. Like they just isolate you from they tell you what to wear, they start isolating you and blah 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 whatever. So I thought, I was just deeply concerned for this person. Well, so while I was watching the video, I noted, I was curious. I was like, is there an update to this story? Because I wanted to go back and read it. Luckily, she didn't delete her account or anything. She didn't delete the post, so I was able to find everything. She has posted into r/abusive relationships, which I thought was very interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. And she also posted in Am I Overreacting again? So she posted in abusive relationships about 200 days ago. And she asked if she was in an abusive relationship. He's basically doing the same thing. He's gaslighting her. He's being a jerk. He's being abusive. And I looked at her comments, and I saw the beautiful comment, 5 beautiful words for this awesome person. I broke up with him, and I saw that, and I started genuinely being happy. I was like, that's awesome. I literally was not planning on recording this video today, but I literally read that, and I was like, I need to record a video right now. So here we are. We're recording this video. I broke up with him. Thank God. So this comment was about 20 days after the original post that we talked about, the one where he was like not wanting her to wear a skirt. And I'm so happy she ended up breaking up with him, because I was so worried about her. So I just want to start off with a little bit of happiness. If you want more context, like I said, link down below to watch the original video. And let's just get this started, because I'm just honestly so happy. We got a good lineup of stories for you today. Some interesting stories. We're kind of deviating a little bit. We have a friendship story that's going to be fun, and then we have 2 friendship stories, and we have one that I thought was really interesting. So we'll get into that. But on to story 1. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go on a double honeymoon? I, 33 male, used to be married to my best friend Callie, 33 female. I'm bisexual. She's a lesbian. We grew up in a conservative town in the deep south where coming out wasn't really an option. So when we were 20, we got married. It was a way to avoid questions and stay safe together. We moved out of state a few years later, got divorced soon after. There was no drama. We were always just friends, and we've stayed close. We still hang out regularly. I recently married my husband Miguel, 30 male. A couple months later, Callie married her wife Bree, 34 female. Both weddings were low-key, and while Miguel and Bree aren't close, they're friendly enough when they're all together. A week ago, Callie suggested the 4 of us take a trip together as a kind of double honeymoon. She thought it would be meaningful since we've known each other for so long and have been through a lot together. She had a couple destinations in mind and said it could be fun to celebrate this new chapter side by side. I told her I appreciated the thought, but Miguel and I weren't really comfortable with that. We're planning a small trip for the 2 of us, just the 2 of them. And we'd rather keep it that way. It's not personal, it's just something we wanted to experience privately, which totally makes sense. I wouldn't have wanted the double honeymoon either, even if it was someone I'm really, really close with. Honeymoon is like for you and like your partner. So it is a little weird to like suggest a double honeymoon, but I kind of get it. Like, it does sound fun to do it with like your best friend, but also doesn't sound fun. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. But Callie didn't take it well. She said it felt like I was distancing myself now that I got what I wanted, and brought up how we had each other's backs for years. I told her I didn't mean to hurt her, but I think we're allowed to make our own space as a couple, which she's right, they are. Now things are a little tense. Bree messaged me to say she gets it, but Callie's upset and she feels like I brushed her off. Okay. Also, if your feelings are valid. And if you feel like he brushed you off, then there's a way to go about it and talk about it. I'm wondering now if I was too blunt or if I should have handled it differently. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to do a double honeymoon? I don't think you're an a-hole for not wanting to do the double honeymoon. It's totally understandable for you to want to have your own honeymoon on your own with just your husband, and totally makes sense. And it's also okay for her to want a honeymoon with, like, not with you, but a honeymoon alongside each other. I get it. It sounds like a nice idea. It really does. Just your best friend and their husband and your wife get to go on a honeymoon together. Win-win, right? You get to knock out a honeymoon and do the honeymoon with your wife and also with your best friend. Like, it does sound very appealing. The problem herein lies is that your friend doesn't seem too keen on that idea and kind of tried to let you down. Was he blunt? I don't know how the conversation went. I really don't. So I can't really base judgment on how the conversation went. You can feel like he brushed you off, and that's totally fine. Your feelings are valid. But the problem lies where you're not really taking any sort of like, okay, I get it. It is what it is. You're taking it personally. That's what I meant to say. You're taking it personally. And I don't think it's personal. And I don't think this person means it's personal, because I don't think OP thinks is trying to make it personal. It's not. It's not personal. They want their private honeymoon, and that's totally fair. I feel like if you wanted a private honeymoon and he wanted it, would you sacrifice your honeymoon in that way for your friend? And maybe think about it that way. Maybe you would, and that's okay. But you don't have to be the same people, right? So I don't know. I think there's a lot of complicated emotions here. Not the a-hole was the verdict. I think I would go with no one sucks. No a-holes here. That's what I would say. Because not the a-hole kind of implies that the other person is the a-hole in this subreddit's like rules. So I would say no one is the a-hole here. Because I don't think anyone's doing anything necessarily wrong. She's having a reaction to what you said. So I think she's allowed to have that reaction, and it'll blow over eventually. Here are some comments. Two of them I both agree with them because they say no a-holes here, but we'll see. Take your separate honeymoons and start planning a friendiversary trip for next summer to celebrate your milestone together and as two couples. Really, do your research on destinations where groups of 4 adults can thrive and be interactive. No one is the a-hole, but all relationships take work to maintain and grow. Make planning the trip a group event, but that you all can get excited about together. I didn't read the comment. I didn't read if the OP commented, but this sounds like a good compromise, right? If you can afford it, go on your honeymoon, and then do a separate trip with your friend and their husband and their wife, and you're all good. I see no problem with that. Second comment, no a-holes here. It sounds like she voiced her fear of losing you. In some ways, you are probably more family to her than her bio family, which makes a lot of sense. You both got married to each other in a very meaningful way, and then broke it off, and you stayed friends, and that's fine, but there's just relationships there that you need to kind of maybe treat a little more delicately, I guess. What most people don't tell you is that the first year of marriage can be hell when it is for realsies, because we have a lot of subconscious crap about how things are supposed to go, and considering that you married each other as mutual beards, which is like a term for people marrying each other in the LGBTQ community, who basically exactly what they did. They married each other to keep each other safe and to avoid questions. Kind of like a beard hides things. Hides my face, you know. If you didn't know what that was, I had to Google it, so I'm with you. I'm guessing her emotional baggage is turned up to high, and someone broke the knob off. Like, she's just super like emotional about it. When she calms down a bit, hopefully you can talk it out if you want. She sounds like she needs a hug and a cookie, and you are not wrong for wanting your own. And you are not wrong for wanting your own honeymoon. Happy Pride. Totally agree. You are not a bad person for wanting your own honeymoon in your own separate thing. And I don't think you're an a-hole at all for anything that you did. I think you handled it pretty well, expressing boundaries, all that stuff. So I thought it was handled pretty well. I would say, like they said, plan a separate trip, maybe. I don't know, sounds like a good idea to me. Maybe you just get you tell your husband, hey, can we go on a different thing if you guys can afford it? I don't see why that's the problem. So I think that's a good idea. All right, on to story 2. Am I the a-hole for refusing to lock my cats up so my friend's boyfriend can visit my house? Starts off real good. Look, she's my best friend, but I can't stand her boyfriend. Okay, just straight up off the top, I love it. No one can. All he does is make rude, snarky comments and complains about everything everywhere he goes. Woo! Sounds like a real charmer, huh? Nothing is ever good enough, or nothing is ever as good as his stuff. Ooh, that's big yikes. I decided to have a small cookout at my house. He has made comments about its location and quality many times before. Your house? This dude's crazy. Like, making remarks about your house is so wild. Nonetheless, we're planning to have good food, drinks, and a whole lot of other stuff to spend some time with our friends and relax a little, and they're both invited. My bestie is worried about her boyfriend's cat allergies. I have 2 cats, both hide when people are over. She asked me to lock them in the room for a day to not upset his allergies. He has been to my house twice now and has never complained about my cats. Very interesting. That's so weird. He's never complained, but now he's upset? What in the world? I simply told her no. After she persisted, I reminded her he's been around them and their fur, which lingers around at all times in the past. I asked what he did then to manage it. She said he took Benadryl. I recommended he take it again before and after this visit. She persisted, so said, I'm not locking my cats in the room all day, and so far that's been that. Am I the a-hole? I'm not sure if my dislike for her boyfriend is clouding my judgment, but I also think of how panicked and uncomfortable my cats will be, and it seems unreasonable to replace that for me. Also, their discomfort really doesn't seem worth company. I don't know. Am I the a-hole? Verdict was not the a-hole, and I do agree. You're not the a-hole. I have a dog. Cats are a little different. I do have a dog. And if someone asked me to lock up my dog for a full day, while there is also an outside event, this is not inside. He doesn't have to go inside. An outside event. And they were like, can you lock up your dog for me? I'd be like, no, not happening. Nope, I'm sorry. And especially if this is a person that's very rude and rude and judgmental, I'm not doing it for you. I would do a lot of things for a lot of people I don't know, people I have very mixed opinions about, people I would consider like I don't know anything about you. I might do a favor. I'm not locking up my dog either way, but I might do something for you. For someone who's rude and judgmental and talks about my house that way, I'm not gonna do any favors for you. And I mean, that's kind of the life you live when you're like that. And there's just some people, and I worked with people like this, and I worked with people like this, and there are just some people that love to make the people around them as miserable as they are. And he sounds like that type of person. He likes to complain about everything, so in the hopes that he's either like bringing to light the real reality of the places he goes to, because he's the only one that could see it, or he's trying to bring everyone's mood down to his level. Either way, sounds like a piece of garbage. I mean, I'm making a lot of judgments, and I don't know this guy, but this is the vibe I get, and I've dealt with people like this. I have worked and work with people like this. And it just is how it is. They just love to make every single person's day worse because their day is also not gone well. Sorry for the rant, but it's just how it is. This guy sounds like that, and it's really, really annoying. All right, so some comments here, or a comment. The real issue is not the cats, but why you're letting the rude guy come to your party. Tell your friend he's been rude every single time he comes over, so he's no longer allowed over. I hope you can still come, but I understand if you can't. Well, this is a Reddit comment. I'll finish it and we'll go over it. Getting told her boyfriend is so awful he's getting banned might be the wake-up call your friend needs. True, probably, but also saying and writing, typing that on the internet is so much easier than doing it, actually doing it. And I have a feeling telling your roommate that her boyfriend is banned from coming over to their house, is not going to go over well. And I don't think it will have the effect that you hope it will. This is not a good thing to do. Do not do this. You can have an honest conversation about her boyfriend with her, but outright banning this person, which is probably the best thing ever to happen to you, because he never has to come over and you probably don't have to worry about it. Totally, it sounds very nice, but it's not feasible. This is your roommate's partner. Just telling her she can't bring him over is not the solution. To this party, sure. He's not invited. If he wants to tell me to lock up my cats and whatever, he doesn't have to come. And maybe that's a better way to phrase it. But to ban them outright from coming over ever is not the solution and not going to work. I think that'll end up backfiring and being a bigger issue than you think it will. And I know it's easier to type it out than to actually do it. So just putting that out there. Not the a-hole. Being allergic to cats myself, I either take a pill or take the risk. Or if I don't really like the person anyways, I use my allergy as an excuse to bail out. Antisocial people, raise your hand. I love it. That's so what I would do. I'd be like, last time I came over, my allergies were kind of acting up. I think I'm going to stay home. The pills don't really work for me. You know what I mean? That's like that type of stuff. But never would I expect them to lock their cats up. I'm going to assume this person's an actual good person. So expecting someone to lock up their pets for an outdoor event, by the way, is just the normal person thing to do. As a dog owner whose mom is allergic to dogs, as we are countries apart when we visit said country, we go to other accommodations because we cannot expect to house us, and the dog, as being dogs in the vicinity for a few hours, is okay, but dog cares would remain and it would make their life not fun. So totally get it. I just think I love Reddit, bro. They're just like, you should ban him from your house. Like, no, don't do that. But I do agree, you're not the a-hole at all. I think that you handled it well. You stood your ground. You expressed a boundary, and I think that you did a very good job. And I'm very proud of you as your big brother, as your internet big brother. I'm very proud of you for setting a boundary and sticking to it, even when your roommate was willing to argue about your boundary, which is kind of crazy, but whatever. I get it. It's her boyfriend. It is what it is. You're not saying he can't come. You're just saying you're not locking up your cats, and he can make the decision from there. Asking someone to do that is crazy. I don't know. Like, even if it was a death allergy, like, I would just not go rather than make my partner's roommate do that. It's just not, like, I don't know. It just seems rude. It's just rude, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I have the wrong word for it, but whatever. You know what I mean? But let me know what you think down in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong. And I'm not a cat person, so I don't know. Maybe it's a normal thing to lock up your cats, but I don't think it is, because, I mean, I wouldn't lock up my dog. I mean, I think it's probably not that much different. So let me know down in the comments. Now we are on to story 3. Am I the a-hole for siding with our son after he screamed at my wife? Just created this account because the whole situation feels ridiculous and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. We're about to leave for a trip to visit family across the country. Yesterday, our 8-year-old son Jake got into a huge argument with my wife, and she's still acting cold toward both of us today. For some context, Jake is mildly autistic. He struggles with emotion sometimes, but is otherwise a pretty normal kid. Loves sports, loves video games, and wants nothing to do with anything he sees as girly, which is pretty typical for his age. Sure, I don't. Is he 8? 8? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's normal. I taught 3rd grade this year, and that's about normal. If I gave a kid pink headphones and he's a boy, brutal. Brutal. They did not want them. They wanted blue or yellow, anything but pink. I'm like, bro, it's just headphones. And they're like, me, and they complain. Whatever. I was playing video games with him while my wife was packing the last of her stuff. She called him into the bedroom. Maybe 10 seconds later, I hear him yelling, "Are you serious? Who the hell do you think you are?" This is an 8-year-old kid. Not just that, her 8-year-old son is talking to her like this. "Who the hell do you think you are? Get that stupid thing away from me." I went in thinking I was about to walk into him getting grounded, but instead I see my wife trying to force a pink sparkly shirt on him. It had some celebrity on it and was clearly meant for a girl. I asked what was going on, and she said his cousin Jennifer, who we're about to see, is about his height, and she wanted to see if the shirt would fit before packing it. Jake, while on the verge of crying, yelled, "I don't care, figure it out yourself, I hate you," and ran out. I told my wife she should have known better. It was obvious forcing him to try on that would upset him. She got frustrated and said it's just a shirt and that trying it on was the least he could do after everything we do for him, like therapy, appointments, activities. Yeah, no, okay. That's where I lose you. I think you're in the right up until now. That completely threw me. Where's parents? He doesn't owe us for basic parenting. This really raised my eyebrows because I've never heard her talk like that before. She went on to say that he's been getting more difficult lately, which to be fair isn't completely wrong, and that he would be punished for acting a little jerk. I told her absolutely not. We're about to visit his cousins, and I'm not punishing him right before vacation because he didn't want to wear a shirt made for girls. He's not wearing a shirt made for girls. He was trying it on, and in 10 seconds, there's really not much that could have happened. 10 seconds is about the amount of time, and I think there's a comment here, but 10 seconds is about the amount of time that it would take for her to go, "Can you try this on for me?" And he goes, and he freaks out. That's about 8-10 seconds. She wasn't like, "You're gonna do it, you little punk." Maybe afterwards she's trying to force it on him. I'm not sure exactly what happened. But like, it's a shirt, dude. Wear it for... He's 8. I understand he's 8. But you also need to understand that in the fact that you're not 8. You're an adult. And you need to... This is your job as a parent to teach him these things. Be nice to your mom. "Who the hell do you think you are?" In quotes. If my kid said that to me, that's crazy to me. How that was able to be said without any repercussion, by the way, because clearly you haven't said anything. "Who the hell do you think you are?" As an 8-year-old, he's hearing this type of language, and he not only is hearing this type of language, this type of language is condoned because clearly you didn't do anything about it. You condone this type of language. "Who the hell do you think you are?" That's his mother, your wife. Stick up for your wife. He's 8. Put him in his place. Tell him you cannot talk to your mother that way. You are not leaving this room, and you will apologize to your mother, and then you can go to your room. That's exactly how you handle that situation. But you just told him it's okay to say it like that. And I hate to be like this because I'm not necessarily saying that you talk bad to your wife, but it is a little telling that your 8-year-old thinks he can talk to his mother like that, and you don't stop him. Are you talking to your wife like that? And is he learning from you? I don't know. I said we can bring it up in therapy after the trip. She argued that he screamed at her, and I said, "Yeah, no shoot. He screamed at you. You tried to make him try on girls' clothes. I yell at my mom as she tried to pull that on me." She stayed cold. "What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?" I am baffled at how many men refuse to protect and stick up for their partner. He is 8 years old. He cannot talk to your wife like that. His mother. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, no crap. He screamed at you. You tried to make try and girls go to yo, my mom. Oh, that's so frustrating. What a loser. She stayed cold to both of us all night and refused to make dinner. Don't blame her. You literally just condone his behavior. I ended up ordering pizza, which she took as rewarding him for throwing a tantrum. Not wrong. Since, like most kids his age, it's his favorite food. Never mind the fact that ordering takeout the night before traveling is just a smart thing to do. So he does. This guy's so frustrating. It's so annoying. Never mind the fact that ordering takeout the night before traveling. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up. Oh my god. I hate this guy. Sorry. Never mind the fact that ordering takeout the night before traveling is just the smart thing to do so you don't have to deal with the dishes. That was yesterday. And she's still acting cold towards both of us this morning. No way. Crazy. And to make it better, my sister-in-law always automatically take my wife's side. They automatically take my wife's side anytime we disagree, so I'm fully expecting her unsolicited opinion as soon as we get there. Crazy. It's almost like they're siblings. You idiot. They're siblings. 1, 2, you sound like a jerk. So I don't blame them for like automatically taking her side when it sounds like you are emotionally immature and an idiot and a terrible father. I'm sorry, this guy's pissing me off. Okay, verdict, everyone sucks here. I would agree. Everyone kind of sucks. Your wife was in the right. It would have been you're the a-hole up until your wife said, she got frustrated and said it's just a start and trying on what will be the least he could do after everything we do for him. Like, you can't. Like, doing things for your kids can't be transactional. Like, that's just not how it is. And I just think that was kind of not, I don't know, not okay. I was on her side until then, and then now I'm kind of feeling like maybe it's kind of warranted because this guy sounds like an idiot and a jerk. So the comments, honestly, everyone sucks here a bit. Who the hell do you think you are? That is not okay way for an 8-year-old to be handling themselves. Your wife was totally out of line. I agree. But you can and still should have a discussion with your son about how it's okay to stand up for yourself, but there are better ways than to scream at your mom. I'm not pearl clutching over the word hell or anything, but if this is how an 8-year-old is talking, you guys should really consider how you talk to each other and where he's getting this from. I agree. He's not necessarily getting the word hell from you. Like, that's not my issue. I think my issue is with he thinks it's okay and he's been told it's okay because you didn't say anything and you gave him pizza after he said, who the hell do you think you are, to his mom. So you, like, you condoned it. And so it's clearly that this is either a precedent or something you just set as a way he can talk to his mom and get away with it. And I don't think that's okay. Everyone sucks here except for your kid. Your wife sucks for starting the situation. She should know better than to try put a pink shirt on her autistic kid who definitely doesn't like anything girly. She also seems to have some resentment built up for the kid. Your kid, that should be addressed. I mean, sure, I guess, whatever. You suck for not talking to your son about using inappropriate language and addressing his mother that way. Being autistic doesn't give you the right to be a jerk, and that needs to be taught. You both seem to suck at communicating with each other. You being surprised at her feelings is not a good sign. Your kid is debatable because we have no idea where on the spectrum he is, so it depends on just how high functioning he is. We have no baseline to go on, so default judgment here, he's not at fault. He's also 8. There's a little difference. Working with 3rd graders, like, you kind of get, this is like 2nd, 3rd grade. This is probably a little young for 3rd grade, but like just someone who worked with them a lot, like, they have a hard time regulating their emotions. They do, and it's just part of life. A lot of adults have a hard time regulating their emotions. So, expecting an 8-year-old to act like an adult is a little crazy. I just feel bad. This whole situation is crazy. You should know your son enough to kind of know, like, I shouldn't do this, shouldn't try it on. You can ask, that's totally fine. I have a feeling you probably did ask and he freaked out, and then when he freaked out, you tried to force it because you're his mother. That's just the vibe I get. I could be wrong, but that does sound like how the situation went out and wound up. You guys can't communicate to each other. Like, you clearly have issues with your wife. Doesn't sound like you like your wife, OP. I don't know. just weird to me. But thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Comment what you thought. Anything I might have gotten wrong, anything crazy I said, let me know down in the comments. And I appreciate you all very much, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.